there, it's Anne. Are you ready to learn 5 new words to improve your academic writing? Let's go. Our first word is considerable. Considerable. This is an adjective, considerable, and it means large, basically, in size, amount, or quantity. Let me give you an example. He pushed the rock up the hill with considerable difficulty. Basically, a lot of difficulty. But the word considerable is much more advanced than the word a lot. She owes the bank a considerable amount of money. We can also use it as an adverb, considerably. Considerably. For example, his new car was considerably more expensive than his old car. I could say his new car was much more expensive. That's correct too, but this is just a more advanced way to say the same thing. So let's rewrite this sentence using considerable and make it sound more advanced. She made a lot of improvement in school this year. She made considerable improvement in school this year. Our next word is attribute. This is actually a noun and a verb, and they have different pronunciations. We are going to start with the noun, attribute. Attribute. So this is a feature, usually a good feature, that someone or something has. For example, the teacher's patience is one of her best attributes, like her best features or her best qualities. Courage and strength are important attributes for soldiers, important qualities. So attribute was the noun, and the verb is attribute. Attribute. Here the stress is on the second syllable, attribute. We normally use this with the preposition to, and it means to say that something is because of someone or something. For example, we can attribute her poor performance on the test to the fact that she didn't study. So we can say that her poor performance on the test is because she didn't study. You're going to see that this word attribute with to is often used in the passive voice. Here's an example of attribute used in a passive sentence. Her poor performance can be attributed to the fact that she didn't study. 4 deaths last week were attributed to the coronavirus. The second definition of attribute, the verb, is related to the first, but it means to think of something as being made or created by someone. Maybe we don't know for sure, but we think it was made, created, or said by someone. For example, have you heard this quote? Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. This quote is usually attributed to Benjamin Franklin. Means we think that he's the first person who said it. So let's try this. We're going to rewrite this sentence using attribute. I think my success is because of my grandmother's influence. I can attribute my success to my grandmother's influence. Our next word is conflict. Conflict. This is also a noun and a verb with different pronunciations. We are going to start with the noun, conflict. It means a struggle for power or property, something like that. In this situation, it's like a fight or kind of like a war. Many soldiers and civilians died in the conflict, died in this struggle, this fight. So it can also be a strong disagreement between people or groups that often results in an angry argument. For example, money is a common source of conflict between partners. You'll see this phrase a lot too, source of conflict. In American English, we often use conflict when we're talking about time and schedule. And here this would be a situation that in which you are unable to do something because there is something else you've already agreed to do at the same time. So here's a scheduling conflict. For example, unfortunately, I have a conflict at 10, so I can't attend the meeting. So this is not an disagreement, a fight, or an argument, but it means I have 2 things scheduled at the same time and I can't do both of them. So the noun was conflict and the verb is conflict. conflict. Stress is on the second syllable, conflict. And it means to be different in a way that prevents agreement, or to say or express opposite things. For example, the story she told about the accident conflicted with the video of the accident. So they were different and they can't both be true. They conflicted. So we're going to rewrite this sentence now. The loud dog was a regular source of argument between the neighbors. The loud dog was a regular source of conflict between the neighbors. Our next word is overseas. This is an adverb, overseas. It means in a foreign country that is across the sea or ocean. I lived overseas when I was a child, or I was born overseas. It can also be an adjective, and it has the same meaning again in a foreign country that is across the sea or ocean. Are you ready for your overseas adventure? Or overseas travel can be exciting. So let's rewrite this sentence using overseas. This position may require you to move to another country. This position may require you to move overseas. Our last word is guideline. Guideline. This is a noun and we normally use it in the plural, guidelines. It's a rule or instruction that says how something should be done. So it's not a law, but it is a rule or a recommendation from probably someone or something important. For example, workers must follow safety guidelines at the construction site. According to the dietary guidelines for Americans, people should eat many fruits and vegetables and avoid salt and sugar. So let's try this. According to recent medical recommendations, infants should sleep on their backs, not their stomachs, during the first year of life. According to recent medical guidelines, infants should sleep on their backs, not their stomachs, during the first year of life. If you would like more tips on how to improve your writing, make sure that you subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss a thing. And don't forget to download our free ebook if you haven't already, 3 Tips for Great Writing from College Professors. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.